Today we have an exciting and hopefully pretty chill build project. And, well, it's the reason I've chopped down pretty much the entirety of this spruce forest. We're gonna make a pretty spring fairy forest based on the woods around the house that I grew up in. Now, the first order of business is going to be a lot of terraforming. Um, we are going to place a layer of moss down over the floor of this thing, and that's mostly because I just want to change, the color of the ground to be a little bit more mossy. And yes, I am wearing my Alaska skin because, let's be real, this is pretty close to the outfit that I would walk through these kinds of forests in during breakup. We call breakup that for a pretty, self-explanatory reason, because that's when the ice starts breaking and rivers start breaking up and melting and all of that. I don't need to, I'm gonna be covering all this up. It's actually a pretty ugly time of year because there's a lot of mud. There's so much mud. My family lives off the grid, but in the springtime during breakup, we have to take a four-wheeler to get to our house. So we park our car way, way down the hill. And if we need to go somewhere, we take the four-wheeler and four-wheel down the hill to the car, and vice versa as we're coming back. But even though spring can be really ugly, there's also really, really gorgeous parts of spring too. And that is what this is based on. I used to go for lots of walks as a teenager, and spring was my favorite time for that because there were little bits of water running along the path of the dirt road, and the moss, you were starting to see the moss, and it was super bright and green and pretty, and there was just lots of light, and it was very sparkling, and it was just wonderful. So that's a little bit more the experience of spring that we are going for with this particular project. Well, I have done it. This whole hill is covered in moss. It's a little bit insane. You can see we've got all the way over to our greenhouse area, all the way over to our bridge. It's all covered in moss. Now, we've obtained some friends, and no, I did not fight for these guys. I have been, however, keeping an eye out for skelly horses, and so when Sally messaged the chat the other day saying, hey, anybody want a bunch of skelly horses? I was like, I'll take one or two. And, well, they showed up with 3. And for now, we can just take them and they'll go over to our stables and all that. Okay, yeah, come on. Sheesh. Scooch. Scooch inside. Boop. Nope. Scooch. Boop. Now, there are a couple of things that we need to do in this area before we actually add trees. Also, I need you guys to know. I need you to know that laying down this moss took as much time as building the entire raid farm. I just need to throw that out there. I need to get that off my chest. Now, the first order of business is some packed mud. I think we need to replace our path blocks with packed mud. This is definitely gonna look better, but oh my gosh, it's going to sound awesome. I'm just gonna say this mud machine is super messy, and I don't know how, but it seems to multiply water bottles every time I use it. Look, 64 in each slot, all full. And somehow we have more water bottles than we will ever be able to use. My gosh. This whole water bottle thing really is the greatest mystery to me. I don't even know, I can't use all these water bottles unless I drink them all. Okay, now that we have a little pathway for our stream to go through, let's go ahead and... Water bucket up here. At the very end. And let's see how far this flows before it gets too long. Right there. Okay. Very cute. Okay, so now we have a cute little snow melt stream going across here, which is... Oh, I love that. I love that. Running water really is the sound of spring to me. But, like, isn't it so nice and relaxing to just, like, be walking by some running water? I think it's great. Our next order of business is actually going to be a quick little adventure. Right over there. There we go. Alrighty. So we'll leave us a little bit of a base camp here. But we do need to do a quick little bit of caving. I'll be honest that this is certainly not my cup of tea. Now, the reason that we're in here is because we need some of these guys. Oh, perfect. Someday I'm going to build something either in a lush cave or just really far underground, and I'm going to have glow squid all around it. It's going to be great. But for now, though, eye on the prize. Spore blossom number 1. Oh gosh. You scared me, little axolotl bud. I thought you were another creepy crawly thing. Ah! Ah! How are you not dead? Okay. I'm really bad at this adventuring thing. I'm so bad at it, and this axolotl keeps scaring me, but I just want some of these, you know? No, not these. Where are the little ones? They're right next to me. Yeah. That seems to be about the ends of this lush cave, and we got 8 spore blossoms, and I will take you, good sir. Well, that was an axolotl tail. Hello, buddy. And I think with that we can depart this mildly terrifying adventure. We are going to make a little archway into this foresty area before we actually, like, you know, build the forest itself. Okay, and this archway is just gonna have a collection of leaves and things above it and around it. And then we'll put a spore blossom there. Perfect. Oh, yes. This definitely says entering springtime. Yeah, that's the vibes. And then, yeah, we'll just sprinkle a few pink petals around this area, just a few. Not too many. Oh, you could put them on moss. That is amazing and awesome. And that means we're going to use a lot more pink petals in this forest. Allow me to tell you guys about the most beautiful flower in the world. The twin flower. It's a little pink flower that has little tiny trumpet-shaped flowers, and it grows on little vines on the floor of the woods. And it is amazing and gorgeous, and it's my very favorite flower. And it grows all over the floor of woods like the ones that we're making right now. The arch is finished, and that means I think we need to go start making some trees in here. Now, we'll also add some lighting as we go, but I want to show you what we're going to do. Perfect, some scaffolding. As far as the trees that we build in here go. 2, 3. They're going to be straight, little trees. They're not going to be crazy tall. I think 5 is a good upper limit. Maybe not perfect. We might go a little higher than that. We're not going to go much bigger than this as far as these trees are concerned, because the woods that I grew up in are a black spruce forest, and black spruce is a very skinny little tree. It grows super, super slow, and it grows over permafrost and also helps develop permafrost because they're super, super, super densely packed. So when my family was building our house, we did some research and found that the area that our house was in, the black spruce was growing at 3,000 to 4,000 trees per acre. So they're very, very densely packed. They're very, very small. And we still want to be able to walk through the woods, right? So these are the trees we're going to have. We're going to leave room to like maneuver around in them. And as we go, we will make little light sources. I have just been doing a lot of deforestation. One of our new players on the server is settling in a spruce forest, so I was over at their base taking all the spruce leaves. I have almost 3 shulker boxes full, and hopefully that'll keep me going for a little while. But I wanted to pop into the 1.20 outpost area because there has been, oh my goodness, there has been some work going on here. Not surprisingly, this build was designed and I think also mostly built by the incredible Pearl. We're gonna poke our head in here. I do believe the upstairs is not spawn proof, so we might attempt a flyby. Because the last thing we want to do is blow up this beautiful thing. Oh, there's a zombie. Okay. Well, this area is looking absolutely... Oh, I didn't even notice the moon. Oh my gosh. Crazy. This is beautiful. And now I shall go back to building. Too many trees. Okay, well, I am a little bit tired of building trees, and so let's take a little break to add some interest to the floor of the forest. Now, of course, we talked about the twin flowers, and these kinds of forests have lingonberries growing in them, and I think sweet berries will go quite well for those. And you can't have a fairy forest without a fairy ring. I'd say the underbrush really pulls it all together. Well, I guess I know what I'm going to keep doing. Many, many more hours than I care to admit, we have a custom springtime biome all completed. It's just gorgeous. I love it. You look through the trees and it looks a lot like home. It looks like exactly what we wanted. And we've got a little log bridge going over our running stream. I love it so much. This is so good. There are little spots hidden back through the trees, and if we wind our way through, we can find a couple of the particularly interesting spots. One of them is right in here where we have a little ravine that comes down, and I want to fill this up with other flowers. So that's something that we're going to need to go do in a second. But also, if we keep winding through this direction, this looks so much like a hill where you go blueberry picking. Yeah, we come right over in here, we've got a little fairy ring. And obviously we won't step inside, but it's so cute. This is actually a little bit of a challenge because I didn't realize you can't plant mushrooms under skylight. So I had to, because they have to be at a light level of 12 or less than 12, one or the other. But I had to cover the area with opaque blocks and then plant them, and then we removed them and everything was good. Oh yeah, and if we wind our way down this path, we come over to our little cabin and we've got stairs. So yeah, then we come down the path and across the little river, and I'm gonna put a bridge in here. I keep forgetting about it. All right, well, since we mostly have tulips, let's start with just spamming a bunch of tulips around. I want it to be like a little flower waterfall. Then we'll add some pink ones around. Joop. And then a few of these guys around. And some little pops of blue. And then we'll add just a few too tall flowers. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. This is, yes, this is gorgeous. And we have a little log that we can sit on. Yep, I love this. Now, it wouldn't be a day here on the Vervain's Arcadia server without a little bit of redstone, would it? We have a secret little hole down here, and we are gonna add something super, super fun. You can see I have a shulker box with lots of note blocks and blocks of gold. So, we're gonna put all this gold we collect from the gold farm to good use finally. And we're gonna put a little, note block song in here. I did it! This was an absolute redstone nightmare, but now we can run over the path and we get a little note block song. And watch this. We go back this way and we walk over it again and it doesn't trigger again. Now, this piece is a very simplified version of a piece that I wrote during my senior year of my music composition degree, and it is part of a suite based on Alaskan seasons. It's very simplified, very shortened, but it's a piece for marimba and piano, because marimba sounds so much like little water droplets, and this forest, this one right here, with the water along the path, and just all the prettinesses. This is exactly what I was thinking of, with maybe a little bit more snow, as I wrote this piece. So, I don't know. It feels really special to have this, like, immortalized, as it were, on a server that's probably going to be around once I'm not around on it. Now, this right here is the few seconds of the song where it could get triggered again, but there's only like 2 blocks in this little section of path that can even pick up the signal. So it's pretty unlikely that that will happen. So let's pop ourselves in here and take a look at what's going on, because there's a lot. First off, I have the song kind of separated out into 3 different sections. This is the beginning and the end of the song. And then we come down here and there's our middle section, which then splits off into this area down here, which has 2 looping spots. There's 4 measures of the same loop happening here, and then it passes on over here where we have the same thing happen, 4 measures of the same loop. And then at the same time, we trigger over here the marimba melody. This is the little part that has the piano underneath, and this melody is going on over the top, and then it comes back here, goes back up to the beginning of the song, which then plays one last time, and we have a T flip-flop here that will trigger it to go on the first time around and then stop it the second time. Now, the beginning here is where it gets a little bit messy because, well, we've got a skulk sensor. And I started out with a etho thing that he had done recently in his Let's Play series with directional skulk sensor signals. And then I ended up simplifying it a little bit, though it took a long time to get there. And so now the skulk sensor will trigger this this circuit here up to the start of the song, and also trigger the piston to push the redstone block back to it so that it's set and ready to go and trigger again. However, it won't necessarily trigger this every time this circuit is triggered, because we have a pulse interrupter here, and so it will send the signal through, and then this isn't a sticky piston, so it will just push the stone block up here until this circuit comes around to trigger the beginning of the song again for the second time. And then the piston will push that down, and it's all set and ready to go for the next time somebody walks over the path. Now, this little spot with our pulse interrupter is the only spot that I feel like could use a little bit more improving, though a lot of the wiring and circuitry could probably be less messy than it is. But it could, if we were able to connect it up somehow to like the T flip-flop or something like that, I feel like that would be the one way we could improve it. But my brain is fried and spent, and it's pretty unlikely that it will get triggered during that second section of the song anyways, because it's only like, and I meant to even cover up this a little bit more, it's really only a couple of spots, a couple of blocks where it can even be triggered at all. And then we can just cover that up nicely and hopefully never have to worry about it again. I was partway through this build when I realized that this is a custom biome. I just made a custom biome, and oh my goodness, it was a long haul. It took longer to work everything out for this than I thought it was going to, but it was so worth it. Just like, look at this place. Look how huge this thing is. If we take a little flyover, we can come from the farm, and then the pathway winds here along right into our village, which connects up to this spot, our hot springs with the greenhouse. And I think this just provides a really pretty place to tie it all together. I hope that you enjoyed this. It was a little bit more chill in some ways, and in other ways, oh my goodness, there was just so much blood, sweat, and tears put into this. Anyways, if you did enjoy it, please do give the episode a like and go check out some other videos. And if you're not already, consider subscribing. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go do what I do every time I finish a new project and use it over and over and over until I get tired of it, probably. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!